So this video is to show how to take a Honda Urban Express in NU50 and take it from going stock to giving it some performance parts and making it go faster. Now the reason I'm doing this is because in my area my speed limits are 35 miles an hour, if not higher. My bike as it stands right now, like I said, it's stock, only goes 25 to 27 miles an hour, and that's just not acceptable. I mean, it's very unsafe to be driving on the road and having people pass you left and right on a tiny little bike. So, that's why I'm upgrading it. Two things. One, I need to say that if you watch this video and decide to upgrade your bike at all, and you mess it up, you can't blame me. This video is just information about how I did it. I can't be responsible for anything you guys do that could hurt you or whatever else. I'm not responsible for it. Second thing is I want to give a shout out real quick to mopedarmy.com. They have been extremely helpful in providing me with information on how to do this, because there's not a lot of information out there, and these guys have just been head over heels the best resource I've had to figure out how to do this. So without further ado, let's continue. So here is my Honda Urban Express as it stands right now. It's completely stock and only goes about 25 miles an hour, maybe 26 if I'm lucky. I'm going to do three things to it to try to improve its performance. The first thing I'm going to do is replace the drive belt with a newer one, in a slightly different sized one. And then I'm going to measure the performance increase from that. The second thing I'm going to do is replace the stock exhaust with a performance exhaust and see the performance increase in that. And the last thing I'm going to do is replace the stock air box with a high flow air filter. So I've got my belt casing open to get access to my drive belt here. I'm going to replace that first, and then I'm going to replace the casing and start the bike up and see what kind of improvement I get. I'm told that replacing the belt is one of the single easiest things to do to gain speed almost like instantaneously. So I'm going to do that with my BX31 Napa belt here, and I'll start it up and see if it runs. So I replaced the belt with a slightly longer and wider one, the BX31. Let's see how it runs. So it sounds like the belt runs okay. It sounds like there might be a little bit of a slapping against the side of the case, but I'll just worry about that later. Okay, so after adding the belt, I gained 3 miles an hour on the top end. The acceleration's a little bit lagging now, but considering I gained a little bit of speed, I'm actually quite happy with it, and we'll work on that later. The next phase of my performance upgrade is going to be installing this new exhaust. This is a Proma Circuit exhaust, and it's actually fit for a Honda Hobbit, so it won't fit right directly onto my machine without some sort of modification to it. I put it on the other day, and I noticed the three things I'm going to have to definitely do are actually saw this flange down a little bit. It's too thick, so I'm going to have to cut it down maybe halfway here. These two brackets, this one right here and this one over here, are not lined up to any place to mount to the motor, so I'm going to have to actually unweld this and put it somewhere over here, and then take this one and probably either cut it down a little bit because it's too high, or move it some other place. I'm not quite sure yet. So here is after I modded the exhaust to fit on my bike. You can see that I actually did lower the flange here. It was this high. I cut it in half so it'll fit flush against the exhaust manifold. This bracket over here I didn't actually have to move. I just had to drill an extra hole at the bottom so it'll mount up to the old kickstand hole. And this bracket actually right here, it was right here, and I actually sawed it off with the angle grinder and welded it over here, and I missed a little bit actually, so I had to drill a hole up in this corner so it'll fit snugly into the other socket. Kind of a tough job. It took me all day to do, and I had to actually go find a guy that could weld it for me because I don't have a welder. So if you're looking to do this, keep that in mind. You're going to need at least a Dremel and probably, some means of welding. So here's the pipe mounted. You can see how I used the brackets where the old kickstand was, right there. And let's see if I can find it. Yeah, you can see the exhaust manifold, how it connects to the pipe as well. And on the other side, like I said, I didn't have to move this bracket because it fits. I can't really see it in this light. because it fits right there on this. The one thing I don't like is, before even starting it up, the one thing I don't like is how close the muffler is to the back tire. I'm going to have to do something about that in the future. Let's see how it runs. Alright, so here I am on the bike in the middle of the street. I'm about to do a test and see how fast I can get it up to with the new belt and just the new exhaust. You might not be able to tell, but it definitely sounds different. It sounds more like a BB gun or something. Here goes. Okay, so after the belt and the exhaust upgrades, my bike goes easily at 35 miles an hour now. And I'm not sure if the speedometer is maxing out or not, so I think I can actually go a little bit faster. And I haven't put the air filter on yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, see how it improves. So after the belt and after the exhaust, I had one more thing I wanted to do, and that was replace the stock air box from the bike. And I did that. I replaced the stock air box, which used to go right here, with this K&N filter. If anyone's interested, the part number is RE-0200. But I replaced it with that because the flange was the same size. The air filter flange is the same size as the carburetor flange, which I thought would fit right up to the carburetor. But the problem I ran into was that it hits the back fender, so I actually had to make this little plastic piece and connect the two together through that, because like I said, it couldn't get directly a connection because of the back fender. It's not a permanent solution, but it'll work for just testing the bike out. I did test the bike out already with it on there, and I didn't notice a gain in speed. The bike tops out now at 35.4 miles an hour, which is what my GPS is telling me. And I didn't test that with... I just had the belt and the exhaust, but with that, I didn't notice a speed increase, although the acceleration might have increased a little bit. That pretty much concludes all the mods I wanted to do to the bike at the time, by adding the 3 parts. The last thing I need to do is add a kickstand now, because it just leans against the wall. I don't see that being a difficult project, though. Was it worth it? I'd say it was. I gained 10 miles an hour. And it goes 35 now, easy. So the speed limits around here are 30, so I can go 5 over, no problem. I was hoping to get it to 40 miles an hour. I might be able to fine-tune it a little more to get there, but I don't know. I'll just have to look into that. But I mean, look at this thing. How badass is this bike? It's like the most unique-looking thing ever. It's like a chopper-style moped. And I am just like, I'm loving it. I don't like the style of the new like mopeds nowadays. I don't know, they try to look racy or something, but like, I don't know, they're made out of plastic and they're pieces of junk, if you ask me. And most of the DUI people around here ride around them, so I don't want to look like a DUI victim. So this thing is just so awesome. It gets great gas mileage, and now I can rock 35 miles an hour, no problem. So I mean, running around town is not going to be an issue at all. It's going to be so great in the summertime. And yeah, I am just so happy with it. I need to do a few little tweaks to it, but overall, I mean, it's a fun project. I enjoyed every second of it. So I hope somebody gets some information off this if they want to do this, or if if people watch this, just kind of get an idea of what it took. Anyway, I'm done and I'm happy. Now I want to go enjoy a beer. It's Saturday night, so I'm going to go out and partay. Yeah.